Hi, Anjana. Thank you so much for taking the time to be part of our Meet Our Tobacco Free Kids Youth Ambassador Series. To start off, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Anjana and I'm from New Jersey, South Brunswick, New Jersey. I've been an advocate for being tobacco free and being drug free for about 3 years now for my entire high school career, and I'm a junior at South Brunswick High School.
That's nice. To dive a little bit deeper, how exactly did you get into tobacco related issues, tobacco control issues? What kind of inspired you to get into that?
Yeah, so in the beginning of my freshman year, I actually was a part of this program called Peer, which a lot of the kids in my school are, especially the freshmen. And basically, we get like linked up sort of to two seniors, and they kind of guide us through freshman year. It's a good way to like introduce us into the school year and things like that. And it's a really great program at our school. And so one of the seniors in the program, she kind of got me introduced to this group called Incorruptible Us, which is responsible for tobacco prevention and just kind of proliferating the message of being tobacco free and being drug free in general. And that kind of got me, super excited and into all of this advocacy stuff. Before that, I had like no introduction, but through that program and by meeting Yeshi, I was able to delve really deeply into this cause, and that kind of is what got me started.
And for you, like, what exactly does it mean to you to be tobacco free, and then also kind of being an influence to your peers and to others, inspiring them or influencing them to also be tobacco free? What does that kind of mean to you?
Honestly, I think it's about creating a community around being tobacco free, which people who do use tobacco yearn to have by consuming tobacco. A lot of times we see that kids find that there's a community of people who also consume drugs, and they think that they'll be a part of some group. They want to just fit in when they're doing these drugs. And honestly, it's really sad that these people are trying to find a place within their community and they don't seem to find that. So they have to resort to these drugs. So I think the biggest part of trying to influence people is trying to make them feel welcome and accepted and feel like they have a place that doesn't need to exist solely in the circle of like doing drugs, specifically tobacco and things like that. So I think it's really about building another community that's stronger than that.
Right. And that's so important. I think what you mentioned about, this community piece, and also, being empathetic as well, to others, and listening to them so that they understand that they're not alone, and they don't have to go through things alone, or to know that, they don't have to embark upon this journey of, say, being tobacco free alone. And in that, I'm hearing something that's really important, about being kind of like, a very impactful youth advocate. And I'm hearing a lot about that. So, in your own opinion, what do you think makes youth advocacy, youth advocates so important and so impactful?
Yeah, you're completely right. It's really about like empowering kids to be create the community, and youth advocates are a super big part of that because we are the ones who can best create that community. I mean, you're probably not going to find that same level of solace and comfort and sort of relatability in another adult. It's kind of better when you have a kid talking to you and that's just there for you to reach out to because you feel like you can relate to them more. Like, sure, an adult can help in some cases and they can be useful, but having another person that's your age, like a peer, if you will, kind of be there to talk to you and help you go through it makes you feel like this is a more normal experience for people your age, and it makes you feel more validated in your experiences and things like that. So I think youth advocates can be a huge part of building that community and making whatever experiences people are going through feel normal without having to go and resort to drugs.
Right. And kind of linking that to something, I guess, that's kind of personal to your generation. What do you feel are the issues that are kind of weighing on your generation, or that you're seeing, patterns of, this is what people your age, around your age, and just throughout your generation are kind of dealing with? What do you think are the things that are kind of defining your generation in a way?
So I think the biggest thing, especially when it pertains to the tobacco issue, is mental health and social media use. I mean, obviously they're very evidently correlated to each other, but I think the rates of depression and a lot of other disorders like anxiety disorders, OCD, eating disorders, etc., all of these sorts of mental health issues are so common, especially within our age group. And there's so much data and statistics to prove that. And also just increased social media use and kind of seeing the way that other teenagers and other people our age are coping with their health issues. A lot of times it can include, doing drugs and vaping and things like that. Just seeing the impact of how kids are dealing with mental health online can kind of have a lot of teenagers say, hey, maybe I should be doing this, like if people are really anxious and someone posted TikTok about how their vape is like their life, then maybe I should be a part of this. Maybe I should be doing this too. So I think the mental health aspect, the fact that a lot of us are suffering with a lot of mental health problems, and the pandemic did not help with that. And just seeing on social media and going on there and seeing like, wow, all these people are, using vapes and using their jewels and all of these things, it just is contributing to tobacco use. So I think that's definitely a huge problem within our generation. And tobacco abuse is often a symptom of that for us.
So with the mental health aspect, and also, with tobacco use, and seeing as though the tobacco industry is kind of preying on youth, and they know that youth are dealing with so many things like social media use and school, family, work, jobs, all these things. I guess, what is some advice that you would give to your peers when it comes to, dealing with mental health, and dealing with kind of like the things that come with being younger and growing up in this generation?
Well, obviously I'm a person myself, and I definitely have my low moments. And there are times where I don't, deal with things the way that they need to. But I think the best thing that has helped me get through it is knowing that there are people out there that I can talk to. And as corny and cheesy as it sounds, and as cliches as it might sound as well, it's really true. Like, there's always someone that's there that you can talk to and go up to. And even if you think that they never want to listen to me, or this sounds so stupid, or there's no way I could possibly talk about this, just being able to make that first step itself, first of all, just shows how brave you are. And that's incredible that you could do that. And second of all, you never realize how useful it will be in the long run. So yeah, anytime you're going through with it, just pick up the phone and talk to someone, or like FaceTime them, or just text, maybe even, go up to a counselor, a teacher, or any peer around you. Just know that there are people there, and using that network and the people that you care about can be so useful for dealing with a lot of those times. The being alone and isolating yourself is just going to exacerbate those problems and issues. So having a network is so important.
Yeah, I think that's so important, having community. I hear that at the root of your answer. Community is something you should always feel you can lean on, and having a support system that's strong, that can kind of be your foundation when you're dealing with whatever it is life may throw your way. I think that's so important.
Yeah.
Moving forward, what's been your biggest accomplishment in your advocacy efforts so far? And also, looking forward to the future, what do you think your biggest goal is?
Okay, so my biggest accomplishment so far is definitely being able to reach out to a few officials within my state. I think that's just been so exciting for me, because I never thought I would be able to do that. I'm someone who's personally very interested in law. So kind of looking at these, upper level, I wouldn't say executive, but officials and, legislators and things like that, and being able to have contact with them and being able to discuss these kinds of issues with them has been so meaningful to me. So I think just being able to get in contact and being able to be a part of the legislative process and that aspect of this has been so important. And also just being a part of this group is honestly such a highlight of my life. Like, I can truly say that it has changed my perspective on advocacy so much, and like just how I approach it as well. So those are definitely my biggest accomplishments. And something that I would see as a goal in the future is to have, obviously the national goal of like stopping the proliferation of these flavored e-cigarettes and things like that. But I think sizing down as a more like realistic goal for myself, I would definitely make the Incorruptible Us chapter in my school, which is the club that is focused on drug prevention, a lot bigger and have a lot larger of a community around us. That's definitely a goal for this year and for next year, my senior year.
That's awesome. And also, staying on the topic of kind of futures and future goals, what are you most excited about in your future? What are the endeavors that you're looking forward to doing? Even just outside of advocacy, what are some things you see for yourself in the future?
Yeah. So I'm definitely interested in law. That's something that I want to pursue in the future. So not that I'm looking forward to senior year. College jobs are super stressful, but I am excited to go to college, like the process after that, and just see where I go in law. And hopefully I will do somewhat well and pursue something in trial law for sure, which is a passion of mine. Um, and then outside of that, I think really for me, advocacy is such a big part of my life. So I can't really ignore that. But I think
Mhm.
I definitely want to improve education. That's also another big part of my advocacy. And I think education for especially like young girls, maybe improving education within our own state is something that's so hugely important to me. So I think furthering that in the future and just finding some way to improve that as well would be a goal or something I look forward to.
Yeah, all of that sounds great, and I wish you the best of luck. I know law school is going to be like such a huge endeavor, and you know that's so
Yeah.
amazing. That you want to embark upon that journey. So kudos to
Thank you
you.
so much.
And to close on a final question that's kind of lighthearted and kind of fun to think about. What are some of the things that make you smile, and what makes you who you are?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's such a sweet question. I think one thing that really makes me smile is definitely, besides my friends and family and things like that, probably cooking and dance. Those are like my two hobbies and passions in life for sure. I find so much solace in cooking. Like ever since I was little, it was just something that I love to do. And I've just felt so like attached to the kitchen as like my comfort place. And dance is also something that I've done literally my whole life, like since I was 3 or 4. So yeah, that is a place where like my dance class, my dance studio is where I also feel like the most comforted. It just makes me feel smile so much. And ironically enough, those are the things where I have the biggest communities, like kitchen, my family. I love cooking with my
Yeah.
family. It's a very communal thing in my home. And like
Hmm.
my dance team is like the best. Like we are so close with each other. We're like sisters, and it's just they make me smile. They make me there. So I guess I'd say the people around me make me who I am, and my experiences, just all of them combined.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your extremely busy schedule, I'm sure, to talk with us. It's been a pleasure getting to know more about you and learning about you. You're really inspiring, and we hope to hear many more amazing things about you in the future. Thank you.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for having me.